I'd like to call a meeting to order. Pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we're going to take minutes.
What's that?
I can't do the minutes. I had to predict that. I had trouble typing. It took me 4 hours to do these stupid minutes.
Well, if it makes you
I
feel
can't
any
talk.
better, I thought they looked good, so,
I
So
can't.
who wants to do minutes? Who doesn't want to do minutes but will do them anyway?
Whose turn?
We'll do 1 month at a time?
We should all take turns, right?
Yep. I had mine.
I'll do today, I don't know what, yeah, I got nothing else going on.
Yeah, so Mario can send you the word. That one,
Yes.
just kind of use that
Yeah,
as the
I sent
template.
everybody that.
Just use that as the template. All right, let's skip to item 3, approval of minutes. Has everybody reviewed the November 2nd minutes? Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second,
All those in favor?
I
Aye. Just quickly, the chair, Dick Brewer, was not able to attend tonight today. He was not feeling well. Cindy was not able to attend, and Melissa should be joining us at 3:30. Westport Community Schools, I did contact them. They were supposed to be coming. I'm assuming they will be here probably in a little while. So I think we can go with the cemetery because that is mine. It's not showing up.
Did you make copies of everything? I didn't know how to. Because I wasn't able to download it. That's the other reason I can't do it. I don't have copies of anything.
Give me a minute to pull this up.
I gotta try Richard, I'll see if that works. If not, I'll call you.
I can show you what I do if you want downstairs.
Oh, okay.
When you come
Yeah,
afterwards, I'll just run down.
good idea.
So the cemetery has 2 requests. The first is a pickup truck. We currently have 3 trucks in the cemetery, 2 small dump trucks and 1 pickup truck. They use the pickup truck for all their burials and cremations to carry the equipment around. They also use it to tow the trailers when they're going to the other cemeteries throughout town. Their existing truck is a 2004. It's in tough shape, pretty much rusting out on the bottom. It's almost 20 years old. It needs to be replaced. They've been pumping up the tire on a daily basis and jumping it almost every day that it started, so they did replace the tire and they're gonna replace the battery, but it's just been a lot of maintenance that they've been putting into it over the last couple of years. So it does need to replace. This would be a standard pickup, 4-wheel drive, nothing out of the ordinary. They wouldn't be using it for plowing. It'd be mainly for just carrying equipment and towing the trailer.
How much?
I have $50,000. We are looking to get some more refined pricing, which we'll have as we move forward. The second request from the cemetery is the expansion of the cemetery. So right now we have Power Engineering who's designing 2 or 3 more sections. Hi, Melissa. Did you get sworn in?
I did.
Oh, great. Power Engineering is designing 2 or 3 more sections. We're running out of space at the cemetery. The design should be done within the next couple of months, and we will need to, they actually dig out those sections. There's go down 4 or 5 feet, remove all the debris, all the stones, all the trees and stumps, and then backfill it with clean fill so that it's easy to dig in the future. We have an estimated price of about $400,000 to do that work. There are some different funding sources that are available for this type of work, either ARPA, we have perpetual care funds. We're looking to probably do this work, hopefully start it next year, because once you excavate these sites, you gotta let it settle for a couple of years before you can go back in and use them. I don't know if you have any questions. I could show you where those sites are if you want.
Just curious, yeah. I would be, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
I've already got a spot, so.
You already got a spot?
It's already laid out, your spot. I mean, you already bought a gravestone.
I've already got a spot, yeah, I would agree so.
Probably had a spot for years.
I have
Yeah.
since '92, when my brother was killed.
Oh. So this is existing cemetery. This building here is the existing garage that they work out of, and we're looking to expand. This is gonna work. There we go. This area here. They're currently working on these two sites. These were done a couple of years ago. This one was done a couple of years ago, but it's already probably about, I'd say at least a third sold. Probably about a quarter fill. This one here is not that old either, and that is pretty much filled up at this point. And if there is, if the graves are not occupied, they have been sold. So
Do you have any more room for veterans?
the veterans we do. I believe there's a whole nother section here for the veterans
Good.
that has not been occupied yet. So. That's what we're looking at. We may be looking at modifying the regulations. I don't know if that would be
Might be a
completed or
good
not.
idea.
Put them as a horizontal, like we do in Japan.
Yeah, instead of having actual stone monuments, have all flat.
It's easier to take care of.
Yeah, it's just, weed whacking around every single monument just takes a considerable amount of time. And we don't have the resources, we don't have the staff, we don't have the equipment. So that's where we are. So those are the two requests from the cemetery. Any questions?
Mhm.
We'll do the police department.
I have someone here for you. Alicia Oliveira, should you just give her a statement?
Okay.
Sorry.
So the police department is looking for 3 cruisers. They've been doing this on a regular basis over the years. The last couple of years, we've been able to supplement some of it through ARPA funding, as well as from their own budget. I don't think they're gonna have that luxury this year, so they are requesting 3 cruisers at about $75,000 apiece, and those would be fully outfitted, with radios, watch guards, computers, lights, and so forth. So that'll be $226,190. I know in the past they tried to work this into their actual budget, because this is a yearly expense for them, but there's no additional funds for the operating budget at this point. Any questions? These are easy.
It's all laid out, you mail out everything is mailed to us.
This one I'm not, Chris got called out on paving today. They're paving the streets, so he was not able to attend. So we can go over this briefly, but I'd rather have them come in and actually give us some more detail as to what they're looking for. But in general, for the first year, they're looking for a pickup truck, a dump truck, and a trailer. the pickup truck, or the heavy-duty pickup trucks with plows. I think it's 3500 HD series, which is what they have there now. They're saying their current vehicle is a 2005, so it's about 18 years old with 263,000 miles on it. This, along with a lot of the other vehicles, they're just getting to the point where you can't repair them anymore. They just need to be replaced. And then they go into the actual vehicles with cost estimates for each one. And if you want to look, and I think this was emailed out to you too, they have a list of their current vehicles. They got some nice pictures. But they're old, they're tired. I mean, most of these trucks, all these trucks have been used for plowing, maintenance, so they're getting salt and they're taking a beating. It looks pretty. We're also looking for a dump truck. I don't know if they have a picture of it. I don't believe this is one of their bigger dump trucks. I think it's one of the smaller ones, similar to what the cemetery has. I don't know. Again, I'd like to have them come in and give a little bit more detail as to what they're looking for. And then a trailer. Their existing trailer is 33 years old. So it's probably about time. So those are the three that I have. Community schools, I did talk to Michelle. She said she would be coming over. I'm wondering if they thought the meeting was at 3:30 or not. Can you just give me-
I mean, I thought it was, but I didn't tell them that. Did we have the meetings at 3:30 before?
You did.
We did.
Okay, and then now we can talk about that later. I didn't see anything.
Text Tom.
It's been pretty efficient if you started at 3 and you've already went through 3 departments. You don't waste any time.
Just gonna check.
But all the stuff is emailed to us. which is
Yeah, no, I
nice.
know, that's good.
I don't have much time to read them, but I did skim through them.
In fairness to the school department, there was some confusion about the meeting, so I only notified them yesterday.
Well, did you get a
I
response?
just texted them, so.
So she said Tom and her are on Main Road right now.
Oh, okay.
So they'll be here.
So we can wait a few minutes. So we can go on to topics not reasonably anticipated, 48 hours in advance. Do we have any topics? Anything you'd like to bring up? I will say the Finance Committee has requested a 5-year capital plan. So once we determine this year's program and the available funds we have to expend on this year's program, we can look going out 5 years.
So, I guess then I'll ask about the meeting. Is the plan to have the meetings at 3 o'clock? Or did you set a schedule?
Mary will just discuss that and said that 3:30 probably be better for some.
Okay,
So-
thank you. Yeah, it's, I mean, the later the better, but I get that other people, the earlier the better, so if we could maybe meet in the middle, that would be helpful.
Okay,
I mean, I know not everybody's here either, so.
3:30, I can run it by the chair and see what he
I don't
says.
think it matters with him, 3:30. You don't want it at 3:30. He doesn't want it at 3:30. Yeah, but we
We're pretty efficient though.
yeah,
We
we
won't be
usually
here
get
long.
out in an hour, so it's not too bad.
Our minutes keeper's stepped away.
Uh-oh. I'll fill her in on some of these.
So we're looking at meetings at 3:30.
Yeah.
Now, is it every week that the committee's meeting?
Every other.
Every other, okay. So I already know that I won't be able to be at the one in 2 weeks, I won't be out of town, so.
But we can make that a 3.
Yes, you can.
How's that?
So maybe you
That sounds
start,
good, yes.
Okay, so next
maybe
meeting
you start
at
the
3.
following week.
So I don't know why, but we could not print out, these come from Google Docs.
You have to download it and open it in Excel.
So
Yeah,
I
I
did
don't know
that, I
how to do
opened it in
that.
Excel,
What a
and I
pain this
couldn't
is.
print it up because it's a different, this is set for a specific page. I reset the pages, I reset the page on the printer,
All I did was highlight the print area and
and it
print.
worked for you?
Yeah.
You printed on your own printer though, right?
Doesn't matter, I can print it on either printer.
Came out fine.
Sometimes I
I'm not buying it.
sometimes I
I can't even open it.
highlight everything and then just copy it into a blank one, and then it works. I haven't tried your method, but I'll copy everything and then into a blank
Susan,
That's-
one,
that-
and then it works.
That's
you
what I
know?
was doing, but all the
Susan's gonna show me
formatting
how
was
to do
all
it.
Yeah, I
fouled
know,
up, so I said.
Yeah,
Susan's gonna show me how to do it. Maybe I'll learn something new.
but it's very, you know, it's not easy anymore, you know? You should be able to just take it and print it and save it. You can't, everything gets changed automatically for you now, like it does all the thinking.
I do not like Google Docs.
So for people that are watching, we're just waiting for a few minutes till the superintendent and Michelle come, they're on their way.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, there you go.
I can edit all this out when I play it.
Oh, good.
Very nice.
It's going out live now, but.
So does anybody have any fancy Thanksgiving dishes that they do that's different than turkey stuffing, potatoes, and carrots?
Not this year, my kids all abandoned me, they're all going to their, to the other side, so I think we're gonna do a small chicken.
I know
My
that
sister abandoned me this year, she's going to Indiana. So my grandson's birthday is Wednesday, so my sister's not gonna be here for his birthday. So I said, well, can we do something on Sunday, like pizza and cake? Well, my mother-in-law, I don't like this and I don't like that, and can we do Thanksgiving on Sunday too?
You want this to
I'm
go
like-
out? You want me to shut off the microphones?
I'm like, if you wanna cook,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna take a 5-minute break until the school department gets here.
Somebody will have to fill it out for me.
well, Denise is still here, so.
There you go, she can do it.
Okay, Valerie, you all set? Well, welcome, we have the school department here, they're gonna present their capital improvement items for us for 25.
Well, I'm not really sure if Mr. Albin's gonna be able to see him.
I got
It's
you.
very small.
I've got you here.
We were just saying, we've been struggling with these Google
Oh,
Docs.
you know, With the shared Google Docs?
Yes,
Mhm. Well, yeah, it's difficult.
I tried to, yeah, anyway. It's probably on my end, but we struggled with it.
Yeah, they're hard
So-
to get everything onto one page. And depends how, it becomes an age thing on how much we can see. I'm with it, I'm with you on that.
So this is 25?
Yes, so we created this list based, and we also have a new director of facilities. So we worked with the new director of facilities. He went through every single building. He walked around with Mr. Orban. He then looked at like our generators. He looked at the electric. He looked at windows. He looked at boilers to kind of see where we were, and also so that he could get an idea and acquainted with all of the equipment himself in the building. So in doing that, he was, you know, we identified areas that, some areas we had already identified in previous years. And then you'll notice that the requests are for FY 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, because they wanted a 5-year, which we understand that, but we obviously knew not all of these items are going to be approved. So, and probably many of them. So we left them there for the next 5 years as far as the plan, because they're all items that needed to be done. I can, you want me to read them?
How about it? You're doing
Okay.
great.
So we prioritize them, all the ones, and you know, I mean, I know that it looks like we have a lot of ones, but again, our buildings are old, other than the new middle school, high school. You know, the MAC, they have security for the front doors and holding area, including new burglar alarms and panic buttons. Yes, in the past, capital improvements has funded some alarm entries, doors, new card swipes and whatnot. Now though, with the Alice and everything else going on, they're trying to find a way to lock people in the entrance, because usually when bad things are happening, the entrance area is the area that they're able to get through quickly and get into the building. So the idea around this was to secure both, one is the MAC, and there's another item for the same thing on the west side, is to secure those front entrances with different types of security doors that allow, that basically don't allow people to get through as easy. And the idea is to slow them down in that space. So if you can slow them down within those few minutes, usually someone can get, one of our SROs can get to them in that area. Our SROs are probably maybe an office away, they're not even that far away from the main entrance. So that was the idea around that.
So we just funded this though, something similar, you said, right? That
You
wasn't-
funded for last year the, our alarm, not our alarm system, our bell system. I think
We
a
did
couple
something
of
with
years
doors
ago, yeah, you did do something with doors, I think 2 years ago, I think there's something with doors. I can get that information for you.
Okay.
I think that was the inside doors.
Yeah, yes, I think it was, I think it was the inside doors, but I'll get that and pull that out for you. Then we did the fire protection, also sprinkler systems in all the schools. We don't have a price on that. That was also based on recommendation from the fire department. They did a walkthrough with Mr. Moniz. Mac Playground is really in tough shape. We have areas that are having to be like blocked off and taped off because screws and whatnot. We've tried to work with our parent groups to see if they would help even fund a piece of equipment as they have done in the past for us. And again, because of what next year is looking like, some of this has kind of been, like, we haven't, you know, gone forward with it more. The West.
Just on the sprinkler system, we're looking in excess of like $1 million a school, I'm assuming, easy, right?
Noticing that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
Just
positive.
the tank, I know with the new school, we had to put in like a 60,000 gallon tank outside to store the water for the system, and then you're tearing all the ceilings apart and, yeah,
So.
okay.
Then you'll go down further, you'll see the west, the security for the front doors and holding area there for new burglar alarm and panic buttons. Then the fire protection, sprinkler systems at the west. Window film for the west, which is just like a coating in order to kind of keep people from looking in. Right now, it's all window and it's on the first floor. So they have it, they look at the filming so that we can put some type of film just so that it's not so easy for people to see into the building.
And that film also, it's not bulletproof, there's no such thing with an AR-15, but it supposedly allows for a little bit of a deflection to mitigate the damage that a shot would cause.
Then we go down to lighting for, we put in the campground driveway for buses. That is to do more than what the highway department has already done for us. Stoning that area is more to actually put a driveway that the buses could drive on.
On a daily basis.
Right, on a daily basis to allow, to save some traffic that's happening daily at the elementary school, because the elementary school is just.
The other thing is we'd like to separate the buses from the passenger vehicles, because again, kids walking in between cars can get a little bit tricky, so it's hardly rational behind it.
Then we looked at the lighting for the fields. There are no lighting over there. We've actually had to rent this year for our students to play at night. We had to rent from, was the highway department that?
We had a couple of donations too, so, but we had to rent a couple of lights, we did, yeah.
Cameras, the exterior and exterior for the district, for that would be the high school building right now we have our extended day students there that attend after school, and there is no way to view cameras if we have anyone that's intruding or attempting to. We have had a gentleman that tried to get in one day. He wanted to come in and see what it looked like in the school since nobody was in the building any longer. We had to let him know. Extended day staff had to go out and say there are people in the building, the administration's in the building, and there are also students. And he was pretty arrogant determined to want to get into the building, but we didn't allow him to get in. Then we moved down.
So that item was all the high school, the old high school?
Yes, yep, that one that says district, that's just the high school, the old high school. Then we moved down to like utilities. We kind of try to separate it, like safety and security, utilities, to break it up. Boiler, unit vents, new controls over at the Macomber School. Last that they were installed were in 2004. Finished the lighting outside for the Macomb West. Mr. Duat had done some work already, making them more energy efficient outside. So the idea is to finish that lighting there. We didn't have a price on that yet. Mac generator. The electric upgrade, main system panels and AC installation, to finish those, sure.
Yeah, that electrical upgrade would allow us to finish the air conditioning project that we started via a grant from Representative Schmid last year, where they installed mini splits in about half of the building, which was actually quite helpful. If you remember, the start of the school year this year was pretty warm, and so this would allow us to be ready turnkey in the event that we get additional funding for, and I think we have funding. I think Representative Schmidt found another $100,000 to do the mini splits, but we can't install them with the current electrical panel that we have.
So that is the same for the Mac and the West. Then we moved down to the elementary school heating system, which I know that there was a grant that was denied last year, I believe, for that, and now they are actually, either Kathy's going back out to try to do it again this year. I'm not sure if anybody's heard of that, or where she is with that.
I haven't heard.
Okay.
I know back a few months ago, they were still looking at going forward again, but beyond that, haven't heard anything.
Okay. Generator again at the West. Then we moved down to school building upgrades. The MAC, their bathrooms are the same since 1956. Windows at the MAC. Kitchen upgrades for the MAC. Well tank at the MAC. Finished pavement at the West. This is the regular pavement. There were certain areas that we couldn't finish doing when we got the CIPC for last year, because we had some different of the drains that needed to be dug out and fixed the correct way, so we kind of didn't complete certain areas around the West just so that we could finish the drains the proper way. Bathrooms, partitions, fixtures at the West, and windows over at the West. Those were from 1977, which I know that you guys all work in a facility that's probably older than all of that put together.
1937.
There you go. I figured you guys would beat us.
The well tank at the Macomber School, we did put in for a grant to extend the water line from Route 6 up to the school.
Okay.
We're still waiting to hear.
And again, we want to point out the well tank was relined in the 1990s. Right now it's in good shape, but just we wanted to put it on there in the event that, things start going south with it.
Okay, so then we moved down to transportation. So we currently, our special education budget is going south, you could say. The need for our special ed students right now, between our students going out of district, the level of need for our students between autism, disabilities, transportation of our students going out of district. We have 2 students currently that are going to be going out, and the cost for transportation is like $274,000 for 2 students. 2 students, one going to Rhode Island, one going to Andover. Just the cost of transportation, the daily rate is anywhere between $600 and $745 per day. And these students go year-round. And we've done everything, I mean, the classroom teachers, the special ed directors have done everything to do what they can to, with hiring one-to-one assistants to be with these students, and some of them they're just not meant to be in school. So one of the things that we have thought of, seeing our transportation costs are going so high and increasing rapidly the way it is, we had been approved for 2 vans through ARPA, which will help. And then we thought, right now I currently have 6 vans on the road with a local contractor, that I thought that maybe if we switch gears and took over transporting our own students, again, we would have to hire our own D drivers and monitors to drive them, and they would be employees, so there's an offset to that. But, and then there's a savings in that if CIPC can purchase the vans, or ARPA can purchase the vans, you still have a cost to it, you just don't have the purchase price or the leasing price that you would have with it. So we felt this would be just a way to look at a future savings for moving forward. If we have them, again, yes, we do need to go out and hire D drivers and monitors. There would be a savings when you netted it out. I did some research from some other districts, and they're currently paying about $322,000 their costs for driving, transporting, like owning 6 of their own vehicles. So that would be about the same number that I would be that I'm not me personally requesting, but that I know would be needed for the students that we transport in district and out of district. It would not include our students. We have some students that are transported via cab, which is a lot cheaper. It's like $165 a day or $130 a day. The problem with that is not all students can be transported by a cab service. We have a lot of younger children that require to have a monitor on with them. They need to be in car seats. They need to be in certain restraints and stuff on the buses, on their vans. So this is an idea that we have put out there. Again, school committee has spoken about it. We've talked at different times about different options, and we're just now beginning our budget process. So this was my thought of a way to have some savings moving forward for the school district in the long run. Again, I don't want to operate a bus van company, but at the same time, if it's a way that we can show some type of savings and move forward, then we do what we need to do.
So when you take into consideration the cost of the van, there's still a savings?
There's still a savings when you take in the cost of the
And
vans.
these are 14
These
passenger?
are 14 passenger wheelchair vans.
So would it be any benefit to get one of the smaller vans? Like I know a lot of the transportation ones for 1 or 2 students are like minivans. that are
Correct, and it would be. So actually, just before I got here, actually Nancy Cross had just sent me a text and just was mentioning the same thing that, but again, I was in transport, so we really haven't gotten further into it. The savings piece of it and the cost I just got this morning. So we actually talked briefly at a meeting that we had too, we haven't really discussed it all with everyone at hand, so. But again, we could be getting like 1 or 2 vans, instead of using a large 14 passenger, you'd be transporting via a caravan, where, down the road, you could have the option to add a car seat in there, or a different type of restraint in there, and a monitor still can ride in a caravan like we do now.
The problem is statewide. This isn't just a Westport Community Schools problem. At the Old County Superintendent's meeting yesterday, it is the lament of every superintendent. The cost of special education and transportation is becoming almost unbearable at this point. It's extremely important, for us to, once again allow legislative delegation to know that we need some help here. We were hoping that circuit breaker was going to be fully funded. It is not, and so that is resulting in a significant cost to us. And the bigger problem is we're getting more and more severely damaged kids coming in. To be honest, I mean, when we're having to send out violent elementary school kids, we've got some sad things going on. So, this isn't something that we are looking forward to spending money on, but we're just trying to get a hold of a runaway train, to be honest with you, in terms of transportation. And this is why a couple of years ago we actually looked into the possibility of creating our own therapeutic program at the school. Because if we could keep them in district, we might be able to say, we just didn't have the seed money to get that going. So that's where we're at right now.
Then we would move on to the district expansion, of course. District-wide, you know, again, with the unknown of the old high school, we look at how we can create something somewhere for a early childhood education center / admin offices. So when we say the early childhood education center, that is inclusive of our extended day program, which we have up to, we can have anywhere in one day from 45 to 98 students at a time in our before and after school. Our summer program tends, I can go slow.
I know, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, just,
Our summer program, usually we can have about 95, 98 students at a time, and they come with us from 7:30 in the morning till, I think the summer we did till 4:30, we cut it back, because it was a long day from them. They used to do till 5:30, 6 o'clock, and 7:30 to 6 o'clock is horrific, watching even your own children for that long. So, that would be inclusive of that as well, was to create some type of building space, someplace that we could house our extended day program, our administration offices, which is about 4,400 square feet, and probably about 8 classrooms for the extended day program students.
So just to give you, again, I think I spoke yesterday about that, you were there, Jim, and, you know, we're getting kids who are coming in who have significant deficits, you know, things that kids used to come into school with that you assume, like toileting, for example. We're now getting, you know, students who can't be toileted. So the result of that is you end up having to hire more people to deal with that. So our thinking is, we started an early childhood center through the early intervention process. We could identify those students who have difficulties either socially or cognitively, try and address them earlier so that hopefully as they get older they'll be remediated and we won't have to spend more money as they get older. So that's the thinking behind that.
there was one of the nearby towns just went for a municipal project, and they were probably looking about $650 to $700 a square foot.
Wouldn't surprise me, not at this point.
Yeah. Right, and we looked at, I believe, with the office space, I think it was up to about 9,000 square feet when we totaled in the extended day classrooms that we have. Right now, I believe we have 6 or 8 classrooms, and so that you can break it up. So we have anything from preschool up to grade 4. We used to take 5 and 6 before, and then we cut back on that because it wasn't age appropriate, mixing in our preschool and kindergarten students with 5th and 6th graders. So we didn't have a large number on that anyway, so we cut back. But at the same time, you're putting your 4th graders in with preschoolers and kindergartners, so they like assign based on age of students.
I think the bigger issue, quite honestly, is the fact that we have a demand in this community for that. There's a lot of parents that have gotten shut out, and at one point it was because we didn't have the staffing, now it's the spacing. So that's why we thought an addition to the Macumber would make sense.
You said 600 square feet?
650.
So then the campground construction, when we take a look at it, field development, that's simply, you know, unfortunately when the new school was built, value engineering cut out any type of a field or a track or, and so what we would be looking for is to have that, obviously, because just about every other school has it. So, but again, it's a pretty big bite. And then finally, cement pads for the bleachers, pretty self-explanatory. Bleachers are heavy, kind of sinking into the ground a little bit.
So I'm embarrassed to even bring it up, but like with the early childhood educations, I mean, there's a cost to running that program as well, right? We're struggling to fund our existing programs. Do we have the ability to bring in?
To bring in funding to supplement the cost of the building, you mean?
Not the building, but the actual running the programs, if we
The
can get through them.
program is self-supporting, it's in a revolving account, and it's self-supporting. One of the benefits to the program that we have the EEC program, which families that qualify for a voucher are able to qualify under that voucher where we receive payment through the early childhood program that comes into us. And then the rest of the families that don't qualify are on a full pay. So we currently have about 6 employees in that program,
Mhm.
1 director, 1 assistant director, and it is self-supporting each year at this point. So it's come a long way from what it used to be. The revolving currently carries about 53,000 a year.
We have to also carry a surplus because the summer, typically, we end up losing a little bit of money. It's just the way it is.
And self-supporting, does that include benefits, health insurance? No, so.
Like school lunch never includes the health insurance benefits.
So if we put that in there, it's
Then it probably.
It's probably a
it'd
wash.
Probably a wash, yes.
Now, I know the last few years you've been utilizing the old high school for this program. Prior to that, didn't you use the existing elementary
We
school?
did, we used to use the elementary school, and then what happened was the program grew with student numbers, and then the elementary school numbers grew as well, so then we ran out of space, so we couldn't boot out the extended day program kids, so we had to kind of make a decision to move them to the old school. It was the only way we had space.
The elementary school is used in the morning
Mm.
for the program.
Correct.
Okay, that makes more
We use it in
sense
one,
too.
which is better because they have room in the cafeteria at that time, but the end of the day is when we have the larger amount of students that are there, so we don't have enough space for all of them.
And I assume they just ride the buses to the high school?
Yes, they do. We have 1 bus, so we don't add on an additional cost for that. I make my routes a certain way so that I can put all of the extended day kids.
We figured out a way to do it.
Yep.
It's all right, it's a stop.
Is it a loop like we used
On
to
my
have?
route, yes.
Yes,
On my
I
routes.
know what you're talking about.
It's all part of my routes.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
So is there anything else in the 26, 27, or is it?
No, it's
Okay.
all the same all the way
So
across.
just looking at 25, there's a lot of priority ones here. Obviously, we can't fund them all.
Correct.
We understand that too, I mean, you know, and to be honest, we didn't put our total capital plan on there because it would be exhaustive, you know?
Are there any things that, priority 1AAA, or?
I you know, again, safety and security obviously is always something that is a major concern. I will also argue that the heating systems are getting very difficult to get parts for. And we've been kind of hoping, working with Kathy Gillette, that we were going to be able to get some grant money for that. But as the time goes on, these systems continue to get older, needless to say. So it's a concern.
Any questions?
Now, other than like you just said, it'd be helpful to know priorities on the ones, like if you could narrow like a couple of priorities there so that we know.
Take all the ones and say, okay, so there's 10 ones.
Right,
Label them, you know.
right.
Yeah.
But we wanted to come to you first because
Yeah.
we knew
Yeah.
that, you know, there's a real politique here in terms of how much we can, there's a lot of departments in this town, and we understand that we're not the only one. So we wanted to kind of just present that. So generally what we'll do is, do you have a number that you're thinking that would make that a little bit easier for us? Because you can see there's a pretty wide range depending on where you go. I mean,
You said you don't, this isn't, of course, your full capital plan. You've been working on one?
oh, we have a list of all the capital items that need to be looked at, for lack of a better term.
I mean, I think
That would actually be helpful for us to just see at some point, because we are looking to try to figure out, moving forward, more capital, how to fund so many of these capital. You're not alone here, we all have these capital expenditures that we need to do in these buildings and so forth, and that we need to get a better handle on it and figure out a way.
right, a dollar amount.
A
Because
a
I'm
dollar
sure
amount
boiler and
how
everything
to-
here is the same thing. Windows, I'm sure is the same thing.
Yeah, windows.
Right.
Right, bathroom fixtures, all of it,
Fixtures,
you
yeah,
know.
it's, you know, and that's the same here. But it's a case of the town overall needs to get a good handle on what we need to do so that financially we can try to figure out how to get.
I agree. And again, like things like the generator, you know, the thinking is at some point, if there was an emergency in the town, it would be nice if we could use every one of our buildings to support the town in the event that something happened. I mean, I hope that we never have to think about that, but I think it's foolhardy not to at least put that on the agenda. You know, the driveway for the buses, that was, you know, that was kind of, you know, anyone who picks up kids at the bus at dismissal time knows it's a challenge, you know, so.
And it's difficult when we're seeing a lot more of these bigger items come in, right? 2.4 for heating systems, you know, we have $1 million for a fire engine. There's just no way we can fund these two.
Right.
And we
Free
understand-
cash yearly, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Problem is,
why
we don't
I'm
have an
trying
answer as to
come up
how we
with that
fund.
Plan.
Right. Well, and that's why we put everything on here. I mean, you know, some years we've only put what we really thought we may be able to get. But this time we were like, you know, it helped having a new head of facilities that, you know, this is a good time to put that on for the long-term plan for everybody to see, okay, these are the things that long-term are gonna need to be replaced at some point. And, you know, priority-wise, yes, I mean, who knows when the generator's gonna go? Who knows when the boiler's gonna go? I know that Paul Meany, you know, our facilities, he comes in and our heaters, some days they work, some days they don't. Some days he gives us a little wrench and says, if it shuts off, just turn it to the right. That's how you're gonna get it to run again. So, some days they don't turn back on. So, you know, and you guys, I know you guys face the same thing. You have faced the same thing with heat, you face the same thing with air conditioning here and bathrooms, and I've used the restrooms and the doors are only so high, and so I get it.
But the other thing is, you know, we're also trying to be cognizant of the fact that, look, you know, we know that, you know, somebody could come in and want the whole old high school, you know, and we certainly don't want to get in the way of the town being able to generate a good amount of revenue. It makes sense. The only thing is we, you know, unlike Fall River where there's a lot of commercial space, not much happening here in Westport, you know? Not for 5,000 square, and I can't imagine what the cost of that would be, even if we wanted to. So we're just kind of looking for some permanency in terms of that project, and also providing additional supports for the primary school, because we know we split the school resource officer between the elementary and the primary, so having an additional adult presence there we thought would be a little bit better in terms of security.
Yeah, it was a struggle to fund that position this
Oh, I
year.
know.
Right? We had hoped to fund it through the override. We didn't get the override. And, we were able to work it out a little bit, but
And we appreciate it, we do.
it's going to be taxing on next year's budget as well.
Yeah,
But no, this is great. The way it's laid out is nice, and
so we'll,
gives us an idea going forward what we
Yeah,
need.
we can put a narrative, we can finish our narrative, and
I mean,
that way you've got something to go with
Susan's
it.
point's well taken, and I mean, we'll, you know, if you could, without, you know, being committed to anything, if you could give us a range where it would be most practical in terms of, because we don't want to waste your time either. And I know Jim's going, do you have anything for $25? Yeah.
We should
We'll
have,
find it, Jim, by the way.
Yeah.
we should have an idea in about 3 weeks where.
But, I mean, you know, again, we don't want to waste your time, we want to be realistic. We understand what we're facing, and none of it's good. But we do want to at least try and incrementally try and hit things that, again, let's keep the school open first, let's keep it safe, you know, that's sort of the hierarchy that we use, you know, and it's about where we're at. Would you say that, Michelle?
I would.
All right. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.
And,
Thank
I don't envy.
Sorry about the late notice to get here to the meeting, too.
Oh, no, it's
No, that
fine.
was okay, yeah.
I was on Gifford Road watching the construction.
Yeah, it started a little earlier than we thought it
Yeah,
was
that-
going to,
that-
so.
Oh, they paving out there?
Oh, yeah, so be
Yes.
careful. I think tomorrow it's in earnest, right?
They're already on a roll right now, they're up to Stevens Ave right now, but I was told yesterday that we were gonna be shutting down one lane and only one direction could traffic go, and then we called all of our parents that live off of that to tell them, you know, you might have to bring your child to school tomorrow, back and forth, and that started World War III, and that was a trip. Then I, you know, had to take a ride down to there, and I have a few police officers. telling me to slow down, and I'm like, you just told me to speed up, like, speed up, and then they pull me over, and they're like, what are you doing down here? I'm like, trying to figure out what direction traffic's coming tomorrow, so we had to pull everything, and now parents will be able to, and students will be able to get picked up on their bus tomorrow, but it just may be a little delay.
Good.
So,
Thank you all very much.
Yep,
We
thank you.
appreciate it.
it was good.
Thank you.
Don, good to see you.
See you later.
See you in a few minutes.
See you soon.
Don, Michelle, how do you have to go with?
I'm trying. You should see him drive down the road. See if it's good. No.
All right.
6:30.
I think that's it. I don't have anything else. If anybody else has any questions or concerns or comments?
We didn't have the other minutes.
I do not have the other minutes. I think
I wasn't here.
originally, this goes back to January 18th. If you could check,
Oh my gosh, really? Okay,
I
yeah,
think you might,
I'm sure I do.
Okay.
I'll have to look for them.
okay. That's it. If I can get a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, guys.